I always just tell people you just gotta soak it up.
Hi guys, I'm Jack Payne and this is the Friday Sponge, where I sit down with founders, operators, and leaders to talk about the part of the story nobody tells. The decisions, the risks, the lessons from long before success was obvious. Real stories, real business. Let's get into it.
I think that a lot of people, they hear AI and they're like, oh God, what does that mean? I'm scared, I'm excited. But I figured instead of me trying to guess and just, try and make assumptions, it's better off to hear from the person who kind of put it together. But before we got into all that, can you maybe share with me a little bit about your story, maybe before you even got into founding Sphere?
I grew up around doctors because my parents owned a dental practice. So that was kind of a natural environment for me, both healthcare and business. Then I moved to the US, went to college here, and also encountered the US healthcare system, which was kind of a culture shock. It was so much more complicated and different from what I'm used to. My first encounter was for my personal needs when I went to see the doctor, and I first saw what, all of those deductibles and copays and other fees and do you accept my insurance type of thing in network, out of network. And it took me a while as a college student to figure out whether I should see a doctor here at all, or maybe I have to stay away and go back, travel back to see doctor there and then just live the way it is. And I was getting my computer science degree in school, and then at the same time I started working with providers back office, operations, some of their system settings and some of their software. So I kind of saw that whatever confusion I have, it's not only me, but also I see other people and patients who kind of dealt with it throughout their whole life, have the same issue. Moreover, it's not just them, but on the doctor's side, it's also kind of confusing because many of the times when the doctor tells you that, I'm not sure whether this treatment is covered, let's just make it and then you'll get a bill and see. It is not just them intentionally overcomplicating it. It's really complicated. It's many of the times they really don't know whether they're getting paid for the work they do and what the payment is gonna be. So all of this combined together for me started thinking that this is something that is not supposed to be this way. And combining all that, I had a computer science background and some of the computer science friends out there, and also dealing with the doctors who were open to trying new things around there, we started building together.
It's amazing. Yeah, and I think that your story, first off, amazing. You came all the way from Belarus. When did you move to the States?
Okay, I tried to avoid those numbers because...
okay, we can stay away if you want.
Now there is this trend 2026, 2016. It was 2016.
Okay, that's amazing. And for you to come here, get a computer science degree, which is fantastic. I always say I wish I went to school for computer science just because I feel it's a whole nother language. So the fact that I would say that you speak English, and then what do you speak in Belarus?
I speak Russian. There is also Belarusian there, so we have two languages, but most widespread is Russian.
Sure.
Anyways,
so I would argue, I know it's a technical language compared to maybe just an actual language, but the fact that now you can code as well, right? The way you can express yourself through a computer and be able to create something as amazing as what you created. I personally, when I went to school, I found similar issues with different concepts, but because I wasn't able to code or I didn't understand the coding language, I can never really put something in place. And what you've built is amazing. I heard just a friend the other day, I know it's not human health, but she has her dog, right? And her cutest dog in the world. And the dog needed ACL surgery. So they go for the quote. They say, hey, it's not going to be any more than this. They have the surgery. And the next thing you know, it was $4,000 over, the highest quote. And to your point, doctors, at the end of the day, of course, they're trying to help everyone, right? But they have a lot on their plates. They have to manage a business, they have to manage staff, they have to manage patients and everything that's going on. And all they want to know is that they're getting paid at the end of the day, right? And I think they would appreciate if it's fair, of course. So it sounds like, from what I'm gathering, I mean, you had this epiphany. You're like, wait a second, like, the doctors don't want to hurt people. They don't want to hurt them economically, and they don't want to hurt them with the health-wise, but, you know, there's something missing there. They don't have enough time in their day to really get into the weeds. And I know insurance companies don't always make it so easy, right?
Right. So yeah, there are a lot of incentives out there, and of course, money is one of it, and it is between the doctors themselves, the patients, and the insurance, and yeah, they still all need each other, and they want to kind of, they need each other to operate, so they need some mechanism to do it, but many of the times it is very unclear and very unfair. Those are the patients who suffer from it, but doctors have a lot on their plate too, as you just said.
Yeah. And now, so this startup, right, Sphere, is it, so once you graduated, was this something that was already underway? Did you graduate and pick up a couple corporate jobs to kind of get your feet wet? Like, how did you, or when did you start Sphere?
We started Sphere a little over a year ago, and we pivoted a lot because, yeah, there were a couple of office jobs and like more of a 9-to-5 things, but always on the back of my mind, I had this idea that I want something more meaningful. And also, why did I even move to the States? It has to be something bigger than just the office job. So I was exploring what are the ideas out there, what are the problems that I'm facing, and you know, that get my attention. But that was the most obvious because, again, I had a lot of doctors that I dealt with and their software, so I could see this from the inside and kind of had a lot of insights from that knowledge and from those operations that I saw. And for Sphere, I met my co-founder who was also building software for doctors. So we started with just like, you know, those conversations and like maybe some things that annoyed us at our jobs. And then we found that a lot of it is in common, and it's not like just me facing it, and then it's him, and also this expertise match that happened there. So we started exploring, and first we thought that, okay, there is a lot of problem with the patient intake, so let's focus on this. And then we spoke to more and more doctors out there, and we realized that there is like a deeper pain point that they all are facing, and it is insurance. So we decided we'll just narrow it down to that like specific pain that is the most needed to be addressed. But from the other side is like what we believe we can deal with. And so it kind of it shifts over time, but that's where it's heading, is like toward that specific pain point that from the hours that we spend talking to doctors from different specialties, different practice sizes, we found in common.
And so you guys were having these conversations, you were reaching out to doctors, you were kind of doing the legwork, right? And was there just one point where you looked at your partner, your business partner, and said, let's do it? Like,
yeah, it was kind of, you know, a natural flow that we said, okay, let's do it. Let's just build a mock-up. Let's frame our idea. Let's start sending applications to those accelerator programs. And yeah, that's basically how it started, probably with just framing some ideas on the paper, answering a lot of those application questions help, because in the process of answering them, we also were framing what our actual vision is and kind of, yeah, rebuilding the prototyping thing, but then actually connecting with the doctors to start building together. Yeah, that's basically how it started, and
that's amazing.
Pretty much how it's going.
Yeah. Well, so 1 year out, congratulations, right? I think it's just being able to take the first step and getting this going, but then to survive a whole year. When you look back, what were some of the things that you wish you knew when you started?
The first thing is the amount of no's you're gonna get. So it is a lot. I think it's the most that I faced in my life. But, you know, when you have like this bigger idea idea and the meaning that you feel from the inside, it's not as painful. It's still a lot of pain, but you keep moving through. It's just that you get some feedback from out of here and there and kind of adjust between, and maybe you even use it for yourself for like your own purposes. The other thing is, just mentioned, we started applying to all of those programs and opportunities and partnerships. And the thing is that probably the more you talk to the actual users and build connections with them is the good priority that you should be aware of. So it's kind of easy to just, get locked in your apartment or wherever and just work on the product that you just assume is going to be good. But again, with those no's, but to feel the industry from the inside. And yes, we had connections with the doctors that became our first users with whom we're building, but to kind of see the industry as a whole and talk to different people on the different stages is the advice that I would give to myself, to spend a little more time to actually doing this work on the outside as well.
Sure.
Not just money and a startup talk.
Yeah. I feel like what you said earlier, it's probably one of the most important things people have to understand you got to accept the no's, right? And you got to be able to roll with it. I feel like for myself, constantly remind myself, even while I'm trying to reach out to just business owners in the community, I'm like, for every no I gets me one step closer to a yes, right? And that's the hardest part, is just accepting it and understanding it's nothing against you, but if you truly believe in your vision, then you're going to keep fighting for it, right? So,
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think it is the same in every process that kind of gets you to the next level. But still, as for me personally, that was something that everyone talks about, but before you feel it for yourself, it's not that you lived through it.
So I find that with a lot of business owners, right, that there's always that one thing that keeps them up at night, but it really depends on the type of company that you're running. For you right now, what's that one thing that keeps you up?
That's a good question, because there are a lot of things that blend in together. But the one that I would point out is that responsibility, that the more people trust your product, the more people work with you, the more responsibility there is, especially dealing with the sensitive data that really has an impact on human lives. That is the thing that is bothering me. That is the thing that we take serious and try to focus on, really. Precisely that the answers that doctors get from our models are correct and precise.
Yeah, I mean, it's super important, right? Because you don't want to burn bridges if you provide them incorrect data. So that,
right.
I get that. So obviously your background and your expertise, as you mentioned, was computer science, right? Is your business partner, was their area of expertise also computer science, or is it something different?
Yeah, right. My business partner also has a computer science background. In our company, he deals a little more with the technical side, a little more into it, but kind of we both understand those processes.
And I find that, even for myself on the regular, I love to think that I can do it all by myself, which I bet you too as well. I mean, you're hungry, you don't want to give a dime to anyone, and how great is it when you can look back and say, we did this, just us, right? But there probably comes a time and place as well where you have to be okay with delegating some responsibilities to other people, right? What were some of those responsibilities that you figured out early on weren't necessarily your strengths or the team's strengths, where you needed to maybe partner with or find a mentor to help you work through some things?
Mentors in this space are important, and we started with just talking to more experienced founders on later stages, and this is a lot of the business side and the startup and financials. Also, the other mentorship that we found important is from the partner who worked at the insurance company, so they have more expertise on how to deal with the insurance operations and what's actually going on there behind the scenes. So that was a pretty important one. On the technical side, we also accept advice from someone who is like more experienced with ML and AI by itself, because also computer science is pretty broad field, so you have to have like this specific expertise. Also business and financials, and we still, as I mentioned before, like we do participate in different programs where they match you with the mentors, and depending on the question that we have on our mind, we're more experienced people to kind of help us navigate it and figure out, because still there is like a lot of things that come into the place and a lot of things that we have to learn.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's the beauty of it, right? People always say that the journey is the best part. It's not necessarily when you get there, but it's kind of everything you get to learn along the way, right?
Right. People say that in the end when they when they have stuff figured out and they look back. But yeah, I believe, of course, the journey is it is exciting. Even if something is not figured out from the first try, it does build that competitive, or like also the excitement of, okay, I will find a way to figure it out anyways. So, and also this bigger purpose that I feel that,
I feel like you said this so early in our conversation, but it just came back to me now where you're like, I came to the States, I got a degree, I can't just do the same old 9 to 5, collect a paycheck and walk away. Like, there seems to be this competitive nature to you that's really driving everything you do, and you keep referencing like your why. Would you say that your why is that you just have this undeniable belief that you have to like build something and put something out in the world? Like, what was that? Like, what is that competitiveness in you that really makes you want to do something like this?
Yeah, maybe it's something, and just the way I am. I'm judging myself from not only the result, but I want that something. And it's not only the money itself or the status itself, and also the people who you see that, they are, at least if they're a little grateful to what you do and it matters to someone, it enlightens a lot. So I think it's all of it together that, again, when you see that something that you can do or willing to do matters to someone, not just you, it really motivates me personally a lot.
Love that. I think that's something that a lot of people commonly overlook, which is that they get so caught up on the materialistic side of things, right? Like, I want the fancy car, I need the bigger house. But this book I read recently, I love it. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's called Inner Excellence.
Yeah, but I will write it down.
Yeah, write it down. Because, I mean, I think it would, look, you're already saying a lot of the things, so you might be able to write your own version of Inner Excellence, if I'm being honest. But the thing that I loved the most about it was, like, figure out your why, and your why should really be, like, not for yourself, but there has to be a greater purpose. And you just said it. You're like, look, it's not for me to have some fancy vacation house, as much as I'd like one, right? I think we both would like to have it.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree and say that I don't want a good vacation or a fancy house. It's like,
right.
It's also there, but it's not enough by itself. It's that you have to have something more that like keeps you going.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you'll get that vacation house, and it's, you're going to get there and you're going to realize it feels a lot more empty than you thought. And I think a lot of gold medalists feel the same way. In the Olympics, they'll work their whole life to get to that one moment. But if they've only ever really just linked the whole experience to that exact moment, you find that most gold medalists say that feeling goes away within like the first 24 hours. And then you're back to the hunt again, right? So the fact that you're doing it for something beyond yourself, I think is so beautiful. And I think that it speaks a lot about why someone like you could thrive in this healthcare space, right? Because it's not like you're doing it just to earn $1, or you're doing this for the Lamborghini or the dream house. It's the fact that you can continue to pursue your mission, and then everything else hopefully will come with it because you're just that passionate about it.
Right, that's the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. So thinking about, I just love these questions as well. Do you listen to a lot of podcasts, or do you like to read a lot?
I do like to read. Recently, I've been reading a lot of either business or startup literature or venture. But I do like listening to the podcasts and reading and seeing what other people with like good experience and knowledge have on their minds and where the world is going.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important, right? I'm the same here, same way. I'm reading business books all the time. It's all business, business, business. I find that it's good though because it gives you perspective and it almost allows you to find a bond with someone who's already done it. It hopefully, like through your experiences, I guess one of the things I'm trying to help others do is you've already learned it. And I know that someone's not going to necessarily hear what you have to say and maybe avoid it per se, you know, doing it themselves, but maybe they will, right? Or maybe they'll take something from what you said and be like, wow, that's okay. That's a great way to think about it. And I think that's why it's so important to like share those things, right? And kind of hear from others. Is there a favorite book that you've read recently or like any business book in particular that you would suggest someone read?
That's a very good question, and I always have trouble with the favorites one, you know.
How about just one you
as
recommend? It doesn't have to be the
The
favorite.
one that I recommend, and I heard it a lot when started, was the Mom's Test for the startup owners, and that one actually talks about how you interview your future users without pushing sales, but mostly just trying to understand their experience and also phrase your ideas in the most simple way without the jargon. I feel like this one, as I was kind of stressing before, that you should go and talk to whatever your actual user will be in the future. I think that one is really good.
That's great. I'm definitely have to look that up. That's going on my list. It's going on my list.
Yeah, it's not a big one. It's an easy read, but it's quite important and practical.
Do you know who it's by any chance?
Oh my God.
You get
I
back to me.
forgot
I'm
the
putting you on the
author, but
spot.
you're definitely gonna get it. Or, I mean, I can send it to you as well.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah, at the end.
So once again, year one down. When we think about the future, right, next 5 to 10 years, where do you see this business going? Like, what are the things you aspire to see and have for the business that maybe you guys don't have just yet?
I wish we could rebuild the insurance system out there. So we are starting specific and small with helping providers to improve their insurance communication. But in general, with the development of the technology, I'm thinking that maybe that's the whole system that is going to change, and the way all of those communications work, they are pretty outdated. So maybe there is a next step forward. The insurance itself can be something that benefits their users more, the patients, and the technology is there to kind of make it happen.
That's great. Are you in a round right now of trying to find investors? Are you fundraising? Have you already completed a round? Where do you stand there?
We did a small family and friends round, and mostly bootstrapped. Not planning to fundraise in the next 3 months, but yeah, might be something in the future in the next 3 to 6 months.
And for all those listeners who have their idea, maybe put together a business plan, did some of the legwork of talking to the people that they need to talk to, when they look to ask for money from their family and friends, right, for that first round, what are some things that you suggest that they do in preparation for that conversation?
First would be that you should be willing to break it down into simple terms, especially if the field itself is confusing. And also maybe the purpose is not on the surface. You should be willing to communicate those ideas. I once heard this thought that, you are ready to fundraise when you are willing to tell the story. So that is probably how it works. Also, that excitement and that passion that they should feel. I feel like many of the things in this area happen not only because of the numbers, which are important and critical, but also it's communication between people. So most of the things that happen are some energy clicking together. It's beyond just just the numbers. It's like it's more something on the personal level. So if you find someone who believes in you, especially in the early stage, and kind of enlightens when they feel your vision, this is your success out there. So
That's great. Yeah, I think storytelling is probably one of the most important skills that every founder needs, right? The ability to break down complex issues in a way that someone who has never, ever been in that field can grasp.
I feel like it's all personal. There is no specific rule. It's more of the energy kind of thing.
Absolutely.
They say it's dating, and I feel like it is true.
Yeah, it's dating your investors, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, Stefaniya, thank you so much for your time. I had a blast. I can't thank you enough. Founder of Sphere, amazing story, and I'm excited to see where you guys go next.
Thank you, Jack. It was really nice talking to you.